Hi guys, for today's teardown, this box, so it may look boring from the outside, but it is nice inside. We have here a Glidescope receiver from Socrate company. Glidescope is part of the high instrument landing system. It is responsible for guiding the descent of the aircraft to the runway. So it is missing on the front here, as you can see, a little cover, some piece of metal cover probably. I did never have it. Maybe I could make one with 3D printing when I will have a 3D printer. And also the fuse holder here was broken, but I did replace this. In this front part we have a nice Glide aluminium handle, as you can see, thick aluminium, red. We have a locking mechanism for attaching it to the avionics rack. We have some power diodes and power transistors. So this thing is a long box. On the, will it focus? Yes. On the rear side we have a connector with one antenna coax included in it. We have a manufacturer label. It is made by STTA. I believe it is a French avionics company, or maybe it is an establishment for the instrumentation in the Air Force, possibly. The model number of this thing is the RR93A. The market number here starts with 66, so it must be the year. And here I have a receiving date of 1969. Serial number 225. And there is some kind of stamp here. It looks like the Air Force or Navy Air Force stamp, probably. So the cover is Emerton black with a quick release on the top. Some dirty adhesive remains here. On the bottom we have an aluminum plate with some access screws to relieve the insides. So the nice thing with this, either if it is a small module, is that the insides are completely modular and can be separated quite easily to basic parts. But this cover is a pain to remove. No, it was not too painful this time. Okay, so here is what we have on the first side. As you can see, nice stuff here. We'll have a close look at this later. Wire harness here all the way. Shielded silver coated box here with high frequency stuff. Assembling screws for removing the contents. And on the other side, here one long shielded box, as you can see, with screws all the way. And the other side of the shielded thing, coax connectors, and here one PCB assembly with one layer of clear PCB material over it, quite interesting. And this here shielding for the connector. And here capacities filters, pass-throughs for the between the connectors and the electronics, I guess. Capacitor down here. Okay, now I will remove the three internal modules and we will be able to have a look at them. Okay, so first I will remove the two coax here connectors. They are very easy to remove. Quite a weird model of coax connector. As you can see, there is a nut here. It is very small, by the way, 5 mm in diameter, maybe less even. nice Teflon coated wire. There is a second one here, same kind. Okay, now this one can go out of the way. It is not needed at all, this part of the frame. So now I can remove this upper module here. For this, in that you have these screws at the back. They are surrounded with a green metal part. So if it is green, it means you can remove them. This one is a little weird. Okay. And there is of course one connector on this side. And here we are, first module removed. As you can see, it is so long, it does not fit in the camera frame. So we will have a look at it later. We need to undo all these screws, by the way. We can have a better view of the other ones. So for this one, the deal is on the bottom. 4 screws to remove, and there are the little springs under them, so they pop out when they are removed. Quite nice. As you can see, the heads of the screws are a little worn out because this thing was already taken apart a number of times. Now I should be able to pull out this module. Same thing, there is a connector here at the back. Okay, so you can see there is a little plastic piece here to keep it flush, and here is the thing for later. And last module, I did already undo this one, so we have 2 more screws here. I can undo them completely because it is not necessary for removing the module, but it is necessary for removing opening the module later. So I will remove them completely. You can see there is also green dots here, and exactly the same stuff, one keeping connector, and it should come off. Yes, there is a guide piece here, as you can see, with a little pin here poking out. Here is the cover under it. Sounds very heavy. It may be tinned copper. As with the whole thing, in fact. This must be silver coated copper even. So here is the kind of connector they use. Very small and delicate. So what do we have remaining in the frame? Here the back side of the stuff on the front. So just some wires going to the power transistors. The spring nut thing for the fast release fasteners for the cover. So just the aluminium frame, the wires at the other side here. And here at the back, this cover is a shielding for the connector. We have a metal can relay. So as I was saying before, the kind of capacity is the filtering pass-throughs. So they pass the current this way, but it also acts as a capacitor to the grounding frame. And some electrochemical capacitor here. I was wondering if it may be possible to measure the capacitance of the pass-throughs. So let's take the component tester I hope I will not have another issue with these wires coming loose. So if I try to grab here one of the solder points and the ground here, oh, it did just fail pretty well. Let's try it again. In fact, there is some kind of coating on the solders, so it is quite weird because I am measuring resistance but not a capacitance. Here nothing. Oh, these little grips are really not so good. Sometimes they work well for component leaks, for instance, but yes, as you can see, we have 0.4 ohms in this direction, so it is definitively a conductor. But let's try another time, maybe with another one. If I can grab it. No, it does not measure anything. Ah, there we are. 2500 picofarads. Yes, it seems right for decoupling capacitors or filtering capacitors. Okay. Now we will have a look at each one of the modules. First, we will start with this one. Seems to be maybe power supply related, or not sure in fact. So you can see there is a motherboard here, and there are small golden contacts on standoffs for the module cards. So the vertical cards can be removed, but I will only do one because these two ones are not really necessary to remove. So you can see here very old school green capacitors made by EFCO. We have here electrolytic capacitors, written electrolyte on them. Golden PCB tracks on every PCB. So this is French made, I think. Probably, most probably. Transistor with a heatsink here, and old school grey painted resistors. One more disassembly screw here with a green surround around it. So here we have the insulating layer screwed over the PCB, and the screws are also used to keep in place this edge aluminium piece here, which is either keeping in place the connector and allows to secure this module. So here we have from Texas Instruments what seems to be a gang of 4 diodes. So probably they can be used as bridge rectifier, or they can be used as 4 separate diodes. And if I look at the tracks, we can see, yes, I'm not sure if you will see, but here we have 2 connected in common, and here also. So yes, they are bridge rectifiers. And it is quite interesting because, in fact, it looks like this component is like kind of a empty box with openings on the side. They did drop inside maybe 4 regular diodes and apply some potting compound on the lid to seal them in the thing. It is quite weird, but in fact this one is different. This one seems to be completely potted. And this one is clearly made of 2 different materials. This is interesting. So here we have 2 big yellow things, very heavy. with not a lot of contacts at the back. I can see 6 contacts, maybe 8, so they must be transformers. They are very hard and massive. So here I will remove this little PCB because it is interesting what we have behind. So if I remove a screw, I will be able to pull out the PCB. As you can see, there is this little forks here connecting with other little forks in the other direction here. So here we have a very sad and crusty thick SAFCO 1000 microfarad capacitor. You can see this thing is making some crystals at the end. It is leaking. This side is not better, but here you have a red wax plug for polarity probably. It must be completely dead. We have another one on this PCB. It is not really better. Little bit better, but still the crystals growing on them. And here you can see the other side has a black cap at the other for negative. So in fact it is quite a neat solution, I guess, old school. And here we have a shielded relay. 12 volts. We have 2 times 3 contacts. You can see how they did. How is it attached? Yes, we have 2 nuts at the rear side of the relay, and here they did bulge the wires to the contacts. Here we are. This is interesting. Some jumper that can be changed with small screws. A trim pot here made by Bonhomme in a red aluminium body. Seems really nice. Glass coated resistor here and a glass diode here. We did see one diode like this in one of the previous teardowns, the optical aircraft sensor teardown. There was diodes of the same kind inside with this little loops here in the legs for allowing cooling of a part, and also some stress relief if it is heating because of the current. Okay, so this is nice. All the tracks are golden, it seems, on this thing. Here you can see the small screw I am in the frame, yes, with a spring to pop it out when it is unscrewed. And well, here we are for this one. So it was probably the power supply module, I guess. Now, next one. So on this big long module, we have, you can see this vertical plates mounted on it with insulated standoffs and a whole bunch of electrolytic capacitors. We have here a little heatsink that seems to be covering some power transistors. Yes, 2N1613. The brand is COSEM on this one, COSEM. On this one we have 2N2497 by Texas Instruments, that code of 1967. On this one is by Thomson CSF, it seems. And all the transistors, yes, are socketed. You can see golden legs and regular transistor sockets. Even the smaller ones here are socketed. So it is interesting. And here you can see we have 3 plastic cups and 1 metal cup. So it seems that one of them is has maybe the case grounded, and the other ones are insulated. so I can put this back in place. Here we have a multi-pin connector to the outside world. Here we have a nice CSF made quartz filter, 21.6 MHz. And last thing, I need to remove this cover. I did already remove most of the screws. And in fact, I do not remember if I did already take this apart previously. I do not remember at all what it looks like inside. So it will be interesting. Ta-da! If it can be removed. Yes. Quite heavy. It must be copper. And here we are, as you can see, a whole bunch of little compartments with air mount components. Small air capacitors here, variable capacitors, coils, ceramic capacitor here, square one, very old school. This one's two, in fact, are capacitors. And here we have this plate, a whole bunch of wires behind, crushed between the two plates. And more of this red aluminium body trim pots. So this is quite nice, very old school assembly. I can see the quartz filter has 4 legs poking out here. Here are of course all the holes for the screws. So this is really nicely made, this thing. It must be the, I guess, the intermediate frequency assembly of the receiver. And this is probably the high frequency assembly. Okay, so I will put this back together, and now we will go to the next and last module. Okay, last module, this one. So first you can see how the connector is wired to the over the thing with little bridges here keeping the wires in place. So here we have a metal plate. If I remove it, what do we have behind it? As you can see, we have well, parts. I do not know what they are. It is written 100 microhenry. So they are inductors. Other model probably of inductors here. This must be again capacities pass-through. So this whole thing must be a filter assembly, filtering the signals coming out and in. Well, probably coming out as the whole thing is just a receiver. You can see here probably trim pots. Here we have a little cover behind this with a little screw, but I'm not sure this one is easy to remove. Maybe with this, because in fact there's nothing to catch it really and pull on it, so it is really hard. Here we are, you can see more air mount components. I can see a dead bug transistor here, 4-leg transistor, probably one is just grounding. And here is the main cover of the thing. So if I remove these screws, we will discover the contents. I guess it will be more dead bug components all the way around, but we never know. I don't remember exactly. I think I did already remove this cover previously, but I do not remember exactly what we have behind it. So last screw. It's quite fun because these screws look like very much like Russian-made screw. Yes, Russian-made screws. So maybe at some point I did replace the screws. Maybe they were too damaged. So very thick on the heavy cover with shielding thing here, shielding seal. And here is what we have. We have 3 big coils in 3 boxes, 4 even. There is one here behind. We have some piece of pipe here, you can see, guiding probably the high frequency signal from here, coming from the coax somewhere here, and it goes out here. So really serious stuff about high frequencies. Here we have what seems to be another module, and I see a screw in the middle. And it should, I guess, come off. Maybe it is a little stuck, but yes, I can see connector, so it may come off. Yes, here we are. Oh, look at this. So here are the other side of these black cups, capacitive cups. So as I did measure first the other one, the things, let's do it again for this. If I connect like so and say like so, will it measure a number of picofarads? No. Maybe there is some coating over the shoulders, so it is just very low value, and my component tester cannot test it. Here we are, 1000 picofarads. Try another one. So anyway, it will be a very low value. Yeah, so 976. So they are 1000 picofarads. So here is the other side for them. You can see nice wires going to this connector here. And in fact, I do not see any wire. Not a lot of wire going between this part and this part here. Maybe there are 2 or 3 of them, but not a lot. So here, this module, you can see one more of these connectors. We have a whole bunch of dead bug components in here, mounted on Teflon insulated standoffs. I see a transistor here, side mounted transistor in this plastic piece with golden legs. I see little variable capacitors here. Some golden things here, maybe they are just terminals, not sure. Very small. Here, there's another one here. And on the other side we have a whole set of quartz. As you can see, it makes 20 quartz. Lots of little wires all around. This one is a little crunch, it seems. So maybe they can be pulled out with quartz. Not sure. And from this side here, it is not easy to tell if they are mounted on sockets or not. Usually it is the case, but so it looks like someone did try to pull this one with a pair of pliers, and maybe did not success. I do not remember if it is me or not, in fact. As you can see here, a whole mess of components all stuck together. More of these little blue and gold things here, with tiny nuts to secure them. Quite amazing. So the manufacturing work of this thing is quite incredible. The amount of work. Look, here we have two small wires which are twisted together, going to the other side of this shielding wall. Quite amazing. And of two streamers and things to adjust everywhere. So this is impressive, guys. And this part is really heavy. It is sad we don't have touch videos because it is a brick, this thing. Despite the fact it is now mostly empty, it is still quite a bit of weight. Okay, so I think this will conclude this video. Now I will put all the things together. Hopefully it will not be too difficult. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.